Do you ever feel like you're constantly trying to be perfect, afraid to show your true self, or that you're just not enough? In a world that often celebrates strength and invulnerability, we've been taught to hide our imperfections, leading to a deep sense of isolation and a fear of judgment. What if the very thing you're trying to hide, your vulnerability, is actually the key to unlocking your greatest courage, connection, and a life filled with meaning? That's the revolutionary message at the heart of Brené Brown's Daring Greatly: How the Courage to be Vulnerable Transforms the Way We Live, Love, Parent, and Lead. This #1 New York Times bestseller with over 2 million copies sold is based on Brown's groundbreaking research into vulnerability, courage, shame, and worthiness, offering a roadmap to a more daring and connected life. The core of Daring Greatly: courage is vulnerability. Brené Brown challenges the pervasive myth that vulnerability is a weakness. She defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Far from being a weakness, Brown asserts that vulnerability is the birthplace of joy, creativity, belonging, love, courage, empathy, and authenticity. No act of courage, she argues, can happen without it. It's the catalyst for genuine connection and brave living. Examples of when you need to be vulnerable are everywhere. Initiating intimacy with your spouse, sending your child to an orchestra audition, not knowing the outcome, getting laid off from a job, starting your own business, saying, "I love you," first, trying to conceive after a miscarriage, waiting for a biopsy result, exercising in public, admitting your fears, asking for help, saying, "I'm sorry." Embracing vulnerability is a path to growth, but it requires boundaries and trust, not indiscriminate oversharing. Understanding shame, the fear of disconnection. Brown defines shame as the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. It's a universal human experience, with the exception of those who lack the capacity for empathy or human connection. The less we talk about shame, the more power it holds over our lives. Shame versus guilt. It's crucial to distinguish shame from guilt. Shame is, "I am bad," while guilt is, "I did something bad." Guilt is constructive. It can lead to positive change. Shame, however, erodes our belief that we can change. Shame is highly correlated with addiction, violence, depression, bullying, and eating disorders. The antidote to shame is empathy. Shame resilience, stepping back into the arena. Shame resilience is the ability to practice authenticity when experiencing shame, to move through the experience without abandoning our worthiness, and to come out of it with more courage, compassion, and connection. Brown highlights that talking about shame disempowers it. Language and stories bring shame into the light where it cannot survive. She even references gremlin ninja warrior training, where the gremlins are the self-doubt and self-criticism we harbor in our minds. By naming them and confronting them, we reduce their power. Wholeheartedness, living from a place of worthiness. Wholeheartedness is about living from a place of worthiness by cultivating courage, compassion, and connection. It's the direct antithesis of a scarcity culture, meaning you believe you are worthy of love and belonging, no strings attached. Practices for a wholehearted life include cultivating authenticity, self-compassion, resilient spirit, gratitude, joy, intuition, faith, creativity, play, rest, calm, stillness, meaningful work, laughter, song, and dance. Theodore Roosevelt's Men in the Arena quote perfectly encapsulates the spirit of this book. Brown interprets it as a commitment to only listen to feedback from those who are in the arena with you, not from the critics on the sidelines. The culture of scarcity, never enough. Brown points out that we live in a culture of scarcity, fueled by the pervasive idea of not good enough. not perfect enough, not thin enough, not successful enough, etc. This culture is driven by shame, comparison, and disengagement. She calls this preoccupation with scarcity a form of cultural post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Giving and receiving feedback, disruptive engagement. Brown asserts that a lack of feedback is a major issue in organizations, yet it's crucial for sustainable change. It requires courage to lean into discomfort and normalize it. Engaged feedback checklist for truly effective communication. Willing to sit beside them, not across from them. Willing to put the problem in front of you, not between you, or push it onto them. Willing to listen, ask questions, and accept that you may not understand the whole issue. Want to appreciate what they did well rather than just criticize mistakes. Aware of their strengths and how they can be leveraged to address challenges. Able to take responsibility without shaming or blaming. Willing to do your part. Able to genuinely thank them for their efforts rather than criticizing their shortcomings. Can discuss how addressing these challenges will lead to growth and opportunity. Can model the vulnerability and openness you expect to see from the other person. These elements are disruptive because they shine a light into dark, uncomfortable corners. Parenting. Modeling vulnerability and worthiness. Brown argues that who we are and how we engage with the world are better indicators of how our children will fare than what we know about parenting. It's about modeling vulnerability, showing up and allowing yourself to be seen and understood by your children. The bravest thing parents can do is allow their children to experience struggle and difficulty, because hope is a product of struggle. Brown's Wholehearted Parenting Manifesto provides a powerful guide for raising children who truly believe in their own worth. Common vulnerability shields. What we do to avoid discomfort. Brown identifies common behaviors we use to shield ourselves from the discomfort of vulnerability. Foreboding joy. The fear that arises when we're too happy, leading us to catastrophize or anticipate disaster to try and control vulnerability. The antidote is gratitude. Perfectionism. The belief that if we do everything perfectly, we can minimize or avoid shame, judgment, and blame. It's not about striving for excellence, but about seeking approval. It's a form of shame. The antidote is self-compassion, owning our story, and embracing imperfections. Numbing. Overindulging in anything that dulls pain and discomfort. Being crazy busy is a universal numbing strategy, often rooted in shame, anxiety, and disconnection. The antidote is learning to feel emotions, practicing mindfulness, leaning into discomfort, setting boundaries, and cultivating spirit. Cynicism, criticism, cool, and cruelty. These are often used as weapons to keep vulnerability at arm's length, pushing others away before they can get too close. Brené Brown's research methodology. Brown utilizes a qualitative research methodology called grounded theory, which focuses on developing theories directly from the lived experiences of research participants, rather than proving or disproving existing theories. She often refers to herself as a map maker and traveler, navigating the complex landscape of human emotion. The overall message: embrace your wholehearted self. Daring greatly is a powerful call to embrace vulnerability, to unlock courage, connection, and a deep sense of worthiness in our lives. Brené Brown reveals how our culture often promotes fear and scarcity, never enough, undermining our ability to live fully. She powerfully challenges the misconception that vulnerability is a weakness, demonstrating that it is in fact the very heart of meaningful human experience. At its core, the book emphasizes that we all grapple with shame and the fear of not being good enough. However, by practicing shame resilience,
setting healthy boundaries, and choosing to authentically engage, we can transcend these challenges in our personal relationships, at work, and in our parenting. Brown insists that showing up as our authentic selves, embracing our imperfections, and building relationships based on trust and empathy are the only paths to a wholehearted, joyful, and courageous life. This book is an essential guide for navigating life with bravery and believing in your own inherent worth. If you found this summary insightful and are looking for more powerful books that can help you understand yourself better and solve some of life's biggest challenges, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, The Book Whisperer. We dive deep into amazing books to bring you actionable wisdom.